Children are generally asked to know a world already there. Weren't some of us as a child being told that play is separate from work or study? That numbers should be learned in a certain way only. They cannot be mixed with languages. They cannot go together. Isn't it that true that most of the time the world and society give ready-made things to our children, like formulas on how to play, how to talk to people, to discover the world already there? Most of the time the path already laid there has lesser discomfort, fear and anxiety associated with discovering something new. Do you all know that we, that is children, you and us together, we are walking on a road less traveled as we break these formulas for children and see them as inspired and capable beings who can discover and create a change in the world in their own way. And by doing this, what are we achieving? We are together rejecting the notion that children are growing in silos. The learning is wide and connected to all the things in their life. What did some of these explorations look like in our classes? So in our pups and calves class, when we were having an activity on textures, our 2 to 4 year olds were talking about, facilitator was asking them, why does something feel hard and other things feel soft? And one child holds up a feather and a piece of paper in his hand, and he confidently says, in the feather is loose and the paper is tight. Do you all see that he's one step closer to figuring that soft objects have particles which are loosely arranged and hard objects have particles which are tightly arranged? So this is how we are breaking the notion and seeing children that they can construct their own learning. Let's hear from Kritika ma'am in how in CUPS class they are breaking the notions.
Yes, so in CUPS class, we were exploring the concept of sinking and floating. Okay, so children sat with a bowl of water and they showed curiosity by just adding objects into that bowl of water. And they were just observing it. They were looking at what happens to the object. They were making connections. They made their own study, how some objects float, how some objects sink. Children wondered why does an object sink and float, and came up with ideas like maybe something is pulling it down. Some even experimented and found out that plastic can float, but cotton sinks. They wondered about how big ships float on water. And what is it that keeps them afloat? And they thought about it and they said maybe there is something there that's keeping it afloat. Nothing was just given to them. They explored and they arrived at it by themselves. I wonder what the Joeys did, Yashika ma'am.
We had an interesting revelation in class while we were reading a book called The Way I Feel by Jan and Kane, when one of the child said, I'm scared of monsters. And others said, I'm not scared of monsters, they are not real. While another child said, monsters are funny. Where the entire class witnessed how each of us perceive and respond to experiences differently, without having to stick to the popular notion of monsters are scary.
All our hands together make 100 hands. We have 100 brains. We have million words and powers. 100 thoughts. Some of them didn't stop at 100. They said they had infinite powers. Infinite powers, I know. 100 ways of playing with cars. So the children seem to already know that the 100 is not, it's not something limited. It's a variety of things. It's a diversity of potential in them. And we could not have expressed this better ourselves than our children. And having heard this, the facilitators came together to expose them to a variety of skills, matching their 100 hands and 100 brains. And that's what our master classes have been designed to cater. So here's a glimpse of children building skills as they explore some of the different languages in our master classes. So we're going to watch a video together about their different skills. Thank you, Grace ma'am.
There is hundred of language and funny, and happy, and jealous, and funny, and silly, and not listening, and meaning, oh, and curious, and thinking, and wondering what is there, and angry. Today I'm going to show you 100 thoughts I learned. The objects I see around me, I try to make stuff, and out of wind and rain, window, and Michael Sandal shops, and these I try to make something. I can make rockets, I can make boats, I can make cars, I can make some things. That's what I got 100 thoughts.